तस्माज्जातव्यः प्रज्ञापारमिता महामंत्रो महाविद्या मंत्रो अनुत्तर मंत्रः सम सम मंत्रः सर्व दुःख प्रशमनः सत्यम अमिथ्यात्वात् प्रज्ञापारमितायाम् उक्तो मंत्रः तद्यथा गते गते पारगते पारसंगते बोधिस्वाहा गते गते पारगते पारसंगते बोधिस्वाहा इति प्रज्ञापारमितार्दयं समाप्तम्
无扰世间无苦集灭道，无智亦无得亦无所得故，菩提萨埵依般若波罗蜜多故，心无挂碍，无挂碍故，无有恐怖，愿以颠倒梦想究竟涅槃。是诸佛依般若波罗蜜多故，得了多罗三藐三菩提，故知般若波罗蜜多是大神咒，是大明咒，是无上咒，是无等等咒，能Asores, Panderes, Tere Hotat Odanara Dagambay. Chimbada Gondo Sambo Tian de Gente, Tenda Kunji Jisadala, Yawan de Tangi Rada, Jabi Jawa Tangi Jimua, Ganga Chodu Mobade, Taki Kivi Sawan de Zambo Shishi Radu Moa, Jia Panya, Senjo Rumbo, Jima Shibana, Jiji, Jiva Nyamba Meba. Kone kondo pewa yo ravi kovi shengane pendan dewa malin jungene shire sewan tenzin jam rabi sumdi bado tenjuroji.
ありがとうございました。チベットの皆様によるチベット語での唱名をお聞きいただきました。ありがとうございました。東京曹洞宗青年会の皆様による般若心経をご披露いただきました。ありがとうございます。
Not part of it. From there, directly see my Japanese friend. Now from here, Korean friend. My friend telling me, I think I should speak my broken English, so I will try. Since recent my visit here, I suggesting to young Japanese, it is quite useful to study, to learn English. English, in reality, now become international language. So, Japanese people, courageous, efficient sort of people, in order to serve different part of the world, I think it is worthwhile to learn English. So, I hope more and more Japanese understand my broken English. So in any way, good translator here, no problem. When I give talk, I always Thursday feel I'm simply talking to another human being. We have no differences. If when I speak I keep some kind of sort of emphasis, I'm Tibetan, I'm Buddhist. Perhaps if I sort of consider something important, so I'm Dalai Lama, then that kind of sort of mental attitude itself, creates some barrier. No use. We have to talk. We have to interact on the level of human being. No differences, no barrier. You want a happy life, at least day by day-to-day life, more peaceful, more comfortable mind. I also want that. We everybody have right, you see, to achieve that. And also we everybody have same potential, you see, to create peace of mind, calm mind. Reason, a lot of problems in human sort of society. I think global level, national level, a community level, and also family level. There are problems. So if we analyze what the source or condition of these problems, essentially, many of these problems is our own creation. It is clear. So a lot of problems which we humanity facing, different levels, is actually our own creation. At the same time, 7 billion human beings, no one wants problem. And why? Nobody wants a problem, but a lot of problems are our own created. Why? I think, and also many of my friends, including many scientists, and many experts or scientists in different fields, we all now agree, same view. In order to solve problem, in order to create inner peace, generally, we simply emphasize money, material value, and power. So the money, power, and also technology, these things, immense sort of useful to human beings. We need these things. But these are not ultimate source of inner peace. There is material sort of values. There is limitation. Among my friends, some are billionaire, very rich, plenty of money. But as a human being, in deep inside, lonely. Too much distrust, too much competition. Too much competition creates distrust, suspicion. As a result, the person, very rich, but in deep inside, lonely feeling, loneliness. So therefore, obviously, material value will not create genuine inner peace. One thing. Technology, with help of science, I think in 20th century, I think immense development in the field of research, in science research. And with that, with scientific sort of knowledge, then there is technology. But look, 20th century, marvelous sort of invention by a human being, like nuclear sort of physics. See, eventually become sort of source of additional problem, suffering, fear. Japan, this country, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, actually 2 atom bomb fell on human being, dropped. So immense suffering. My previous one occasion, visit Hiroshima, I met sort of some victims, old person, victims of nuclear, radioactive, these things. Terrible. Then in the European continent, after Second World War, few decades, people remain there, constant fear because of nuclear weapon. So the marvelous achievement through scientific sort of research and technology, unfortunately, become additional suffering, additional problem of human being. Why? Is science wrong? Absolutely no. Or technology is something wrong? Absolutely no. Why then? Person who involved, you see, in this field, mainly, I think, leaders, here, anger, too much greed of power, and don't care about others' life. So this marvelous achievement, you see, translate destruction of so-called their enemy. So this wonderful achievement, we human being, on 20th century, I think that also become additional sort of source of problem. So some historians say 20th century become century of bloodshed, century of violence. In 20th century, over 200 millions of people killed through violence, through war, including Korean War. And Vietnamese, Vietnam War, are these things. And China, Civil War. I think a lot of people suffer. Not nature disaster. Of course, nature disaster also, you see, happened. Just last week, you see, tremendous sort of tragedy due to nature disaster in New York, this area. But you see, the major sort of city problems we suffer, I think, due to our own creation. So we too much emphasis, you see, these material values or power on these things. So later, not working. Oh yeah, good. Then, later part of 20th century, I think the peace movement gradually increasing. I think here in Japan also, I think quite strong peace movement and anti-nuclear weapons, because you yourself suffer. So I think every part of the world, I think, openly express want peace against violence or war. One side. Then, among scientists, more and more scientists, particularly in the field of brain specialists or health science, they begin to feel important role of emotion in our health and also happy family. So just about, I think, 10 days ago, I was in America. Few occasions discuss with scientists in different fields, economy, ecology, food, and many fields. All of their sort of presentation There are problems, but also there is possibility to overcome these problems. Ultimately, related with our sort of what's today, our view, our heart, our sense of responsibility, sense of concern of global sort of well-being, global level. Then there is sort of possibility to overcome this problem, but at least can reduce. And then health science. Now they say, those scientists say, peace of mind, that they call healthy mind, is very, very important factor for healthy body. It is very true. Constant fear, constant anger, hatred is actually eating our immune system. So, for health, calm mind, optimistic sort of mental attitude is very, very essential. Then global economy. A few years ago, you see, when global economy started, out of my own curiosity, I asked some specialist, some my friend, very rich, I think a millionaire, no question, and also same time is an expert about the global economy sort of what's today. Because these big companies, multinational company, there's some advisor of these big company. They are expert. So I asked them, why? You people, mainly in the West, you see people really worship money, economy. Always talk dollar, 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 like that. So these are experts. But then, what's the problem? What is the cause? These are specialists. They know how to deal with economy, global economy, these things. But then many of these, my friends, say, too much greed and speculation. Speculation means doesn't know very sure, but just creates certain sort of forecast. And then they say ignorance. So these economic crisis also related with mind here. Too much greed. And in order to fulfill your own greed, don't care, including environmental sort of problems or gap rich to poor. And also don't care corruption, injustice, these things. In order to gain money, in order to gain power, all sorts of injustice to work is carrying. So these are, firstly, too much greed of power, or greed of money. And secondly, lack of holistic view. If you commit these things, what negative consequences? They do not sort of see these things because due to lack of holistic, only think the temporary or one line or how to make money, like that. So all these problems very much related with our inner sort of inner view or inner thinking. So then, these scientists, recent, I think last 30 years, I had series of discussion with scientists. Now recent years, annually. So, we all have some kind of sort of the same view. Now time come. We have to look more our inner world, not just look outside. but inner world. You see, because they develop sort of full conviction out of their research work or analyze. They convinced now inner peace is very essential. Now, inner peace, how to develop? There are people who really find too much of disturbance in their mind. So, with hope, drugs, alcohol, and some temporary method, tranquilizer. I think eventually modern sort of science may find some operation here. Our brain usually, many problems first they start from brain, anger, fear, these things. So that part of brain remove, maybe less fear, less feeling. Then our body become like robot, not much feeling. That also not good. The wise method is keep our intelligence, the function of intelligence fully. Keep sharpness of our mind. Meantime, peace of mind. Keep peace. Usually these disturbances of peace of mind is from emotion. So actually, brain, intelligence is the sort of the source of peace of mind. Intelligence used properly, holistically, realistically, then show us what type of emotion which actually disturb or destroy our peace of mind. That's anger, fear, distrust. These very much related with greed, attachment, self-centered arrogance. So then intelligence tell us, these kind of emotion is of course part of your mind, part of your emotion, but very harmful. So through that way, we can transform our emotion. And then the emotions, world of emotion, there are a lot of different emotions which each other contradictory, contradiction, such as anger, ill feeling, hatred, and loving kindness. These are contradictory emotions. So since this anger, fear, these create more disturbances in our peace of mind. So the only method is try to find opposite sort of emotion, opposite thought. Try to increase that. That automatically reduces the disturbing sort of emotions, like that. That's the way. So now question is, such sort of practice, such effort is part of religious practice or not? Such practice is kind of spirituality. Whether this is religious practice or not. Many of my friends, we have agreement. All major religious traditions have the same potential to reduce these destructive emotions. But simply, effort to reduce these destructive emotions through increase these positive emotions is not necessarily religious practice. It's simply training of mind, increasing knowledge, not the differences is, up to now, existing modern education system is very much oriented materialist sort of value. So now, in our education, it's some lesson about our inner value, the mental system, emotional system. Make awareness, our students, our people. Firstly, I usually call map of mind, map of emotion. Then make clear, such emotion are very bad for our health, for our happy family, like that. Then the opposite sort of emotion. These is quite helpful. Not based on religious sort of faith or religious sort of quotation, religious sort of text. Simply based on scientific finding. Through that way, we can educate. The ultimate source of happiness, peace of mind, is within ourselves. So after knowing that, then automatically, you see, people want less problem. So since, you see, the dealing with ultimate source of problem here, then automatically people becoming much more calm. So that I call secular way to approach this inner value, not based on religious faith. I believe this secular sort of ethics is actually basis of all major religious tradition. If these secular values quite strong on individual practitioner, then their religious belief also become truly genuine religious also the belief or practice. Otherwise, you see, they remain very much sort of negative sort of emotions there. Then religion also become sort of, a troublemaker, isn't it? There are many problems nowadays now in Burma, Muslim, Buddhist. I think genuine Muslim, genuine Buddhists never kill each other, never beat each other. But people, too much raw, destructive emotion, then use the religion, name of religion. I'm Buddhist, or we must hit those Muslims. They're Muslim, we are Muslim, or we must hit Buddhist. So that is nothing wrong with these two religious traditions. But you see, people who suppose follow this religion, they have sort of no genuine experience how to deal with the troublemaker. That's this destructive emotion. So therefore, once, now for example, too much attachment here, then too much, then eventually such person, even religious belief, religious faith, also become something as the source of problem. Why? One time in Argentina, some interfaith sort of discussion, some scientists also there. One Chilean great scientist, he described, I know him before that also. He is the quantum physicist. So he told our meeting, he, a quantum physicist or scientist, now he should not develop attachment towards his own scientific field. So that's, I think, really wonderful sort of advice. I'm Buddhist, but I should not develop attachment towards Buddhism. Why? Attachment, its very nature is biased. You very much love certain thing. biased. With biased mind, we can't see the things objectively or realistically. So that's why this is these religious problems in the name of religions now, not only today, but not only in the past history, but even today, among Christian, Catholic, Protestant, like in Northern Ireland, and Sunni and Shia, in many Muslim countries. Now, recent time in Burma, Buddhist Muslims. These are, I think, in many cases, not due to religious sort of differences. Mainly, you see, there are economy reasons or political power or these things. But they also, you see, use the name of religion. Some cases, I think, genuine religious believer, but too much biased because of attachment. So then fundamentalist, extremist, these you see happen. Therefore, it is too much sort of emotion, including attachment. Not good. So, our mind must be neutral. Or see objectively, should see things objectively. So therefore, on the basis of scientific finding and our common experience, common sort of sense, we can educate people. These sort of ethics are important, but not relying on religious faith. So it's called secular ethics. Now, I always try to make clear these secular ethics are basis of happy family, happy society, happy national or after finally global level. I think in order to achieve happy humanity, we must pay more attention about these inner value, not relying on religious faith, but through common sense based on scientific findings. So that I want to talk. Now some questions. Now I'm going to sit there. Some questions. Please prepare some questions. Or don't ask some silly questions. More sort of what's the question with depth. Thank you. So, now questions. Perhaps this side. You are European, not Japanese.
では左の方お願いします。
Your Holiness, thank you so much for teaching to us today. It's an honor to be here. I work in the field of public relations, and you mentioned about technology and how on one hand it's a great benefit for humanity, but on the other hand it can create great suffering. One of the technological advances that we all know of today is social media, and we can see both sides. It connects people, but it can also lead to revolutions, great war. It can also lead to great loneliness. My question, Your Holiness, is what is your opinion on how social media can be used to promote peace with humanity and inner peace, or should we turn off our computer and turn off our smartphone and just focus on inner peace?
I think happy humanity is everybody's interest. Then, I think people who have different sort of professions, particularly like the media people, I think use these modern machine, then make sort of better awareness. The ultimate source of happiness, peace is within ourselves. And then also, I think very important to make clear the practice of compassion or training of compassion is simply, you see, trying to create healthy mind, not talking about next life or God or heaven, like that. So I think it is important to make distinction. These basic secular values and religious values are different. Of course, all religious sort of values entirely based on the secular value. But secular value itself is something separate from the religious sort of belief. That I think important. Otherwise, I have the impression people who have no interest about religion, then they also completely neglect about these inner values. Now I think the time come, those scientists should take as a guru rather than, you see, but people like me, some special robes or like that. Of course, we also have the responsibility is to serve them, to help them. I never sort of carry sort of feeling propagating Buddha Dharma. I never. How much contribution can make to better world, thinking that way, not increase or create propagate one's own faith like that. So I think the various sort of and various sort of the specialists or professions teaching certainly you see can take sort of serious sort of responsibility to teach them inner value. Then doctors, your day-to-day life, actually you are implementing the real the secular values effectively through action. Then businessmen, also you see, if they carry the business sort of work with moral principle, with sort of holistic view, long run, your own business will be more successful. And through that way, you can carry all your work transparent. Okay. That politician, certainly. So I think various levels, we sort of different sort of professions. I think we can. Then the artists, singers, through their own professional way, you see, can send message to the masses. And filmmaker also you see can do that. I think in certain field, certain sort of profession, each you see can make some sort of contribution, better world, happier humanity. So that's my view. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Holiness.
そこで、
Holiness, you talked about brain science and emotions. Many brain scientists say our brain chemicals make emotions. Also, some talk about our brain science make spiritual experience. In the past, many old monks practicing in the desert, not so much food, see visions, maybe flying, or no time, no space. Nowadays, doctors say, maybe that was medical condition. Now we understand this brain chemistry, maybe make that. So I want to know, maybe did Buddha and Bodhisattvas, maybe they were just having some neurochemical experience. Some people talk about that. According to today's view of neuroscience and visual experience, hearing things, and like that. What is your view of neuroscience and the spiritual experience, sir?
Grosser level of mind. In the mind, world of mind, there are different levels. For example, the sensorial consciousness. These sensorial consciousness during sleep or during dream, not functioning, not active. During dream, another level of consciousness. Then deep sleep without dream, another level. Then like faint, another level. So at the time of death, deepest consciousness. So therefore, if we can utilize those people who can utilize this deeper level of consciousness, is much more powerful, much more sophisticated. Usually we not train that. So those deeper consciousness experience, then simply the dal sorve. Mare, the mishuranje, mongoliste. The memories, these things not functioning. Through training, the deeper mind, meantime, memory can maintain. So people who sort of use energy of more subtle mind, then certain sort of usually people call miracle or these things, can perform. The subtle, the grosser level of mind entirely depend on grosser level of our physical. So our physical energy limitation, more deeper, not depend on solid, grosser level of body. So more opportunity to do some different things. So like those great practitioner, and of course Buddha, you see they achieved, you see, the most subtle level of mind transformed to wisdom. Through that way, fully control about sort of different energy. So that's the way.
Thank you.
Some sense?
Yes, big sense.
Good.
Thank you.
ありがとうございました。それでは右側の方どうぞ。
Another European. One European, one
Your Holiness.
One European now. Not Asian. Yes.
Thank you. Do you have any thoughts, ideas, or insights regarding the evolution of the human species going forward?
Evolution of Kazakh. That I think the Buddhist concept is quite similar that of Darwinian theory. Like that. And the whole sort of cosmos ray. Cosmos, you see, from space. Then the smallest particle, then grow like that. Then eventually also, you see, dissolve that way. So endless, like Big Bang. Modern scientists, of course, they are concerned about the present sort of Big Bang. I think Buddhist, according to Buddhist literature, and also use our common sense. You see, the Big Bang, the tremendous sort of energy, energy there. Without that, how can that tremendous sort of explosives come? So that immense energy also you see come from certain sort of material, certain source. So go that way, no beginningless of sort of cosmos sort of come, disappear, come and disappear like that. I think essence. More louder.
Okay, sorry. Your Holiness, what advice can you give to people who have taken on the role of sponsoring Tibetan orphans and children, particularly in terms of attachment?
So attachment, nurture. Right.
質問は特に子どもや孤児などの面倒を見ている人たちに対するアドバイスとして、特にその子どもたちに対する執着の心をどのように扱っていけばよいかというような質問だと思います。
Compassion or sense of concern of others' well-being or some kind of tremendous sort of closeness feeling. There are two kinds. One, biased. That kind of closeness feeling which mixed with attachment, that's always biased. Then that biased sort of compassion or attachment, biological factor. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you use human intelligence. That also the compassion as a part of biological factor, that naturally very much mixed with attachment. Now that promote further, then compassion not mixed with attachment, more sort of objective. So the first level of attachment very much oriented about others' attitude. Therefore, that kind of attachment, that kind of loving kindness cannot extend towards your enemy. Second level of compassion without attachment can extend towards your enemy, because not depend on others' attitude, but sense of concern of their well-being, simply their well-being, not based on their attitude. Clear? So, I think most cases, people who loves orphans, including the Tibetans, you see, helping Tibetan, you will not get any sort of award. But simply, you see, taking care as a human boy or human children, a difficult situation. So most popularly, you see, not sort of involve attachment. Then one sort of sponsor, you see, take one Tibetan sort of children. Then after a few moments, then my child, my children, then attachment develop. Clear? So we should not, you see, so we should make distinction. Compassion mixed with attachment, or compassion without attachment. That we should make distinction.
そこした代読させていただきます。
Louder, louder.
現在チベットの僧院の中でも菜食が広がっており、ところがその野菜の残留農薬やその他の理由で健康を害する人たちや、それから菜食になった僧侶や尼がそうでないものを攻撃したり非難したりするということが非常に広がっていて、この方は大変心配しております。そこでダライラマ芸家のお言葉をいただければありがたく思います。
少々お待ちください。
Yes, last 60 years, we Tibetan people suffer a lot, and particularly last 53 years, and especially last few years, very, very difficult situation. So certainly, every Tibetan who are in free country, we have responsibility to help them. But not easy, difficult. I myself always consider as a free spokesman for Tibetan people. But difficult. But basically, Tibetan spirit is extremely strong. I always telling Tibetan spirit, Tibetan determination, you see, come from Buddha Dharma. So, generation, that spirit remains. So last 60 years, say, as a matter of fact, there's more suppression, more determination. That's quite clear. So the things will change, have to change. Whether Chinese government admit or not, there is problem. So this problem, neither good for Tibetan nor Chinese government. So for their own interest, they have to find a solution, more realistic way. A solution just relying on using force is unrealistic. Clear. So basically, I'm optimistic. Things will change. So thank you very much. Your concern, your expression of your concern. Thank you.
ありがとう
Next,
ございました。お願いします。
another European.
American, actually.
You come from?
America.
I see.
Thank you.
But your hair black. So I think your parent, your ancestor come from where? Italy.
Eastern Europe.
Italy.
Europe.
Ka.
Maybe Italy.
Eastern
I don't
Europe.
know.
I see.
It's all the same.
Yes.
Your Holiness, thank you for being here today. Thinking of the secular approach to peace of mind, what specific advice do you have to help us change our emotions from greed and anger or fear to peace, happiness, and joy, especially in the face of adversity, oppression, or great global change? Thank you.
Firstly, obviously, there are people who are not much interested about religious faith. But at the same time, they are thinking, their way of life, very much sort of ethical way. Honest, truthful, more compassionate. So these people, not through religious faith, but use their common sense. And then they develop certain right kind of sort of view. They carry their day-to-day life more ethical way. So these are the examples. So now I usually describe 7 billion human beings. Those people, like myself, now age above 50, 60, 70, now I'm 77. So my generation is generation of 20th century. Our century gone. Now those people who below 30, 20, 15, these people are truly generation of 21st century. Now, 21st century, only 12 years passed. 88 years. 88 years yet to come. As a matter of fact, this is beginning of 21st century. So there is real hope. If those generation who belongs to the 21st century, you see, think or educate, think properly, act properly, I think this century can be century of peace, century of compassion. That's possible. So now everything depends on education. As I already mentioned, existing education system is very much materialistic, oriented to materialistic sort of value. So that's not adequate. So we must find out how to include in existing modern education some moral ethics based on secular way, and particularly based on scientific finding. I usually call in school, they also learn hygiene. Now, hygiene, two things: hygiene of physical, hygiene of emotion. So, hygiene of emotion, not yet developed. Now, that should include. So, things gradually, I think, will change. That's my view. And not only my own view. Many my friends, scientists and educationists have the same view. So we are doing some research work in that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next now, again another European.
Australian.
Australia. Oh. Geographically belongs Asia, but people mainly from West. Oh yeah, Australian.
Thank you for your teaching today. Your Holiness, I love planet Earth and I love the emptiness teachings. And I think emptiness teaches us we are connected with all life in the planet. But now most spirituality doesn't talk much about the future of planet Earth. And most global scientists tell us that our environment is in terrible danger, Your Holiness. So what role should spiritual people, including, with respect, leaders like yourself and the Pope of the Catholic Church and Islamic clerics, what role should holy people be playing in encouraging us to take care of this planet, or there will be much suffering, Your Holiness? Thank you.
I sort of totally agree. Because you see, number of people very much sort of faithful towards their own religious leader. So the global issue is issue of 7 billion human beings. Not only the present generation, but coming generations, right? A future generation. So therefore, the religious leaders, I think really should speak more about the importance of ecology, sort of protection or ecology sort of issue. I agree. So actually, the Pope, John Paul second, the Polish Pope, oh, wonderful. We have some kind of very special sort of relations. So one time, one of my friend who very much concerned about ecology, some literature, some literature, he asked me to put in the desk of His Holiness Pope. I done that. So that person give me some responsibility. I done that. So I agree. As a religious leader, he should sort of speak more. And then also, I think like His Holiness Pope, particularly the John Paul, the religious harmony. He sort of, they initiated RCC meeting. Wonderful. So at that time, I expressed to him that like RCC meeting, I should not be just one occasion, but this should be beginning. So constant the effort for gathering of different religious leaders is something very, very important. So actually, I think religious harmony and the understanding of different traditions is growing. I fully sort of committed about that. So I fully agree. You should speak more about ecology. Clear? Good. Thank you.
존자님, 한국에는 저와 같이 아직 인연을 만나지 못한 많은 젊은이들이 있습니다.
그래.
배우자를 만날 때 어떤 면을 가장 우선시 고려해야 하는지,
그래.
행복한 결혼 생활을 위해서는 어떤 마음가짐을 중요하게 여겨야 하는지 존자님의 말씀을 듣고 싶습니다. 감사합니다.
그래서
少々お待ちください。現在通訳中でございます。お待ちください。はい、日本語でちょっと韓国語からは
韓国語でしたのでちょっと
結婚相手を会う時にどのような感情で相手に接すればいいのでしょうかという質問でした。
お願いします。
なんか今世においてさまざまな助けを与えてくれる。
I can speak in English.
Oh, you can speak English.
Certainly, I pray you find some nice partner, but mainly, you see, your responsibility.
Your Holiness, Omani Bemehong. I want to ask a question about how, as a parent, we can bring out true compassion in children. There are increasing cases of bullying in schools in Japan and worldwide. Children are hurting other children. So how, as a parent, we can guide them so they can really care about other people out of their own wish, but not try to be friendly to others because their teacher told them to do so, but actually deep inside, they didn't want to do because there's so much fear and anger. So how, as a parent, we can guide them to bring out true compassion?
両親が子供を育てていくにあたって、その自分の子供を虐待するというようなことがこの世の中にはあります。そのような両親をどのように導いていけばよいかという質問です。
Yes, that's very, very, very important. Since the secular education field, not much talk about these inner values or secular ethics. So, parents have special sort of because of the responsibility. So then, how to sort of educate your children? Then also, you see, you need, you see, your own children sort of, also the way of thinking and way of behavior. So accordingly, you see, you should sort of educate them. So I don't know, the case to case, you have to study the reality. Accordingly, you should teach, you should advise like that. That's difficult to say. Till I know thoroughly your way of life. Otherwise, it's difficult to say. And then it is quite impossible to know your whole way of life. Difficult. And even I ask, it is interfering with your own private life. So difficult to say.
非常にお答えするのが。
But your sort of intention, this kind of intention itself is very good. So keep this intention, then try secular ethics, and then also the ethics with religious belief, like that. You should find out.
Your Highness, thank you for coming to Japan. I'm really happy to see you. I have a question that this morning you taught us about 8 teachings, right? 8 teachings this morning? Yeah. And
yes.
If you can you tell me if you have any experience that you have attachment, that you are Tibetan, that you are Dalai Lama the 14th, and that you are Buddhism? If you have any attachment and have a hardness and have any experience to get over it by that 8 teachings, I'll be glad to.
I think it's better to speak Japanese.
All right.
So you see, there's no need
All right.
for the translation.
午前中に8つの芸について話してくださったんですけれども、ご自分がダライラマでいらして、仏教徒で、いらっしゃるということで、何か煩悩というかそういった経験をなさって、自分がその8つの芸で乗り越えられたという経験があれば話していただきたいんですけれども、お願いします。If you can.
My own practice. That's my secret. Of course, as soon as I wake up, I recite one sort of praise Buddha wrote by Nagarjuna. I recite that and remember him and reminds me I am a follower of Buddha. So the rest of the day I should lead according to his teaching.
そこで私自身の修行というものは秘密ですのでお話はできませんけれども、お話しできることといえば、私は朝起きた時に一番最初にナーガラジュナによって書かれましたブッダに対する祈祷芸、ブッダに礼拝いたしますという芸を唱えているわけです。でそれによって自分自身が釈尊の教えに従う弟子であるということを思い起こし、そしてその心の動機を一日中維持していくということによって釈尊の教えを実践にたがわないように生きているということが言えるのではないでしょうか。
よろしいでしょうか。ありがとうございました。では続いて男性です。
Today's sort of teaching or text, the main sort of the point is the practice of altruism, infinite altruism, and the practice of interdependency. That's shunyata. That's emptiness. In other words, absence of independent existence. These two things, I always sort of thinking that. Now, for example, here, when I talk you, I always see, as soon as I remember about the very nature of interdependency, that sort of say, while you see that kind of understanding, there, I can see you here like mirror. It is reality, but still not exist as it appears. Quite useful. So I always practice these things. So since my age 14, 15, now over 60 years passed, I practice these things. So immense benefit regarding peace of mind. Thank you.
민나상 다시들렉 고베 뒤와디 베게돈 시조 리고시긴.
자비니스 개신교는 자비니스요. 신나 고로.
베게 신길라. 자비니스 잘하게 딩미 사와사와리 자비나.
개셔죠.
너스. 신으로 공사 캡빈 림부치 졸라 다른 구베 고갑 상보대 손에 뒤에 고갑 저러와라 닝탑에 툭제치 쉬기단체 구베 뒤와니 만주 롭제 값 가렌치기 계획생이 남기 난초에 롭종 나외 값 등에기 꼴라 라 체령의 등에다 라마이 탑족이 등에 미깨가 나치기 등에 뒷조 띠목기 등에 이다 떼검기 등에 제 송중 롭종 나외 값라 다가 나신 탑 딘족이 아니 탑시디 아니 뇌차 시당 띠목 순디 양답 방자 지도에나 먼저 양답에 대화지 톱두기레스 디에 송송 롭종 나올 겁슬라 아니 인게 동네 쉬워이나 tension is the common feature of mind like those 아니 먼저 미좀 뭐에 니줄 쉬워이나 먼저 미규미 미쳐와지 깨왜 값슬라 양답에 뇌자 시단 띠목숨 디빵토야 디 카포리서 무두스 이네 계세 딘조숨 디빵한도 와 있나 먼저 미규미 미세나라 양답에 대화지 톱기레왜 양나 톱기 말해왜 기심 한 양다 기시 닌조숨 빵만도 와 뇌자 시단 띠목숨 양답에 빵만도 와 있나 아니 미세 간디 미규미 미세 간디 찍라 양답에 대화 쉬기 있나라 톱에
야 산제베 최 냠네샤 구림디 우무십 제배 나라 선은 멤버 당부르도 바로 다는 도버시 타말 다시 군도바 디시데니 캐바인이 소래 저도 거라 내가 녀몽이 샤왕도 줄네 다 녀몽 차고 샤왕도 줄네 샤라 나바셔도 담배아도 당고래 그래서 저랑 개개인게 고 당고 거는 녀몽 방고 쓰기도나 개개인 거를 마시면 따래 개개인이 러브 아리안 대화를 캐바 유지 말했음 게 러브 아리안 대화 가르쳐 무슨나 야라 독숨 자꾸 끊을 람베 아니 미기추디 뽕세 송도가 야라 디치다 되네 림베기 바로 다는 도버시 송어래 아니 신의 녀모 독숨 그 싸와 띠무 댄질을 녀부 때니 녀모 독숨 빵거래 자 차단이부터 빵거래 차단이부 뽕야 그 싸와 띠무 댄질을 매박 송어래 디코 림베니베 가는 야르부터 림베 타고 가는 야 말이 저도 심대 차고 말이 안돼 뒤즈때 미르 삼나 마치 미르 나바 마치 어다 딘디브리 죄송합니다.
私は、小学校2年1年生とあと赤ちゃんが6ヶ月の赤ちゃんがいます。つい先日ですね、私の通う小学校の生徒さん2年生の生徒さんがお母さんの手によって亡くなられました。もう一人お子さん7ヶ月の赤ちゃんもそのお母さんの手によって亡くなられてしまいました。私が住んでいる地区はですね比較的裕福な家庭のお金には余裕があり一軒家に住んでいるような方々が多い地域です。なのにそういう事件が戦争でもですね侵略でも何でもなくお母様の手によって亡くなられてしまいました。お子さんを亡くされたことで傷ついていらっしゃるとも思うんですけれども私の通っている子どもの通っている校長先生はじめ職員の先生方あと児童の方々そして父兄の方々もですね大変パニックして深い悲しみとあとどうしていったらいいのか子どもにどう伝えていったらいいのかですねそういうことで悩んでいらっしゃいます。私自身もですね娘はダライ・ラマ法皇様のことを大好きでDVD を何回もグランマザーの DVD を何回も見るぐらい大好きなんですけれどもその子供の食事のことでひっぱたいたりですね蹴ったりとかしてしまうことがたまにあります。このような状態をですねどのように皆を癒し自分自身も子供に対して潔く接していけたらどうかいいかアドバイスをいただけたら幸いでございます。
お待ちくださいね。
다 무엇인지 숲들이야 요지야 돼 냥냥 야마다
私には子供がいませんので、そういうことはちょっとよくはわからないわけなんですけれど。おそらくそういった問題に関する専門家の方にお聞きになった方が良いような気がします。私はそういうことに関して体験がありませんのでよくわかりません。しかしながら忍耐は必要とされると思います。次第によりよく変わっていくと信じることによってその状況に対して忍耐し前向きに進んでいけばよいのではないでしょうか。
Thank you. よ
ろしいでしょうか。ありがとうございました。では真ん中の方です。
Thanks for coming all the way to Japan. And my question is 質問なんですけど怒りとの付き合い方についてどうすればというのかをお聞きしたいです。というのも311の福島の大震災のシチュエーション以降で日本の人の意識がすごい高まったっていうかバックグラウンドとかやり方はすごいバラバラでもそれぞれで何か考えて動いている方が多くて反原発のデモとかもたくさんあると思うんですけどモチベーションとして怒りというものも強くあると思うんですね。人 が動く理由として、でもちょっとそれってすごい何か社会のシチュエーションを変えるための動機としてすごい強いものとしてあると思うんですけど、ちょっとそれってメディテーションワークっていうか、この許しとかとすごい相反してしまうのではないかっていうのもちょっと思っていて。
彼福島Firstly, I think we should use common sense. Too much anger won't help. The real problem, real suffering, can reduce by anger? No. Anger only destroy your peace of mind. And then also this tragedy already happened. Too much worry, too much sad, no use. Already happened. Instead of worry, look forward. The future is open. You can rebuild your home, your village, or your community. So think future. That's, I think, better. And then today's world, and particularly the Japanese sort of society, usually, you see, there is very good sort of spirit of cooperation. So you will not be lonely person. Other people will help you. So therefore, you should looking forward with determination, with courage. That's much better. And then, if you have some interest about Buddhist sort of way of thinking, then should read the Shantadeva's book, the 6th chapter. Read more, 6th chapter. So instead of seeing television or what to say, modern entertainment, instead of sort of using eye consciousness or ear consciousness, rather use mental sort of intelligence, thinking, analyze more and more. Then, you see, you get more self-confidence. That's important. I think, frankly speaking, we should not act like animal. Animals, something happen. There's sort of a lot of emotions that come. We have this marvelous intelligence. So use intelligence, as I mentioned earlier. See, through using intelligence, develop more realistic attitude. That immense help to maintain more normal mind, like that. Thank you.
どう対処すればいい？
Sure. 장죽섬 공연이야, 대과로와 참바도 닝지사야지, 규조로와. 자자가다 참. In order to practice altruism, in order to practice infinite altruism, the main sort of causes of that sort of infinite altruism is loving kindness and compassion. So, I think, what's the greatest obstacle about loving kindness and compassion, equally, all sentient beings. The greatest obstacle is hatred, anger. So anger, hatred, I think generally nobody develop anger, hatred to entire existing or entire world. Nobody did that. I think no one have developed that kind of feeling, only towards your enemy. Anger, the very nature of anger is, you see, anger needs some kind of a specific target. So therefore, the practice of shunyata, how to sort of counter that is the independent, absolute target no longer there. So the intensity of anger reduces, like that. So in any way, that's one way. Another way is, you see, try to develop tolerance or patience, patience and tolerance. Now, who teach you tolerance and patience? For example, I am Buddhist. I never sort of find opportunity to practice tolerance with Buddha. Very kind master. So there is no reason, no causes of anger with Buddha or with my mother, with my friend. No. Only with our enemy, so-called enemy, which actually creates suffering or problem. So that's the only sort of factor which we can develop patience and tolerance. So therefore, for practitioner of altruism, need practice of patience or tolerance. In order to practice of tolerance, we need someone who creates a problem or trouble for you. So your enemy gives you, only your enemy gives you chance to practice of tolerance or patience. Therefore, from that viewpoint, if you look from that, really you get some kind of feeling of gratitude. Oh, you give me opportunity to practice of tolerance. Clear? So, in order to practice, I'd say the patience and tolerance and forgiveness, you see, you should make distinction. Action and actor. As far as there are, the action, because the wrongdoing way, wrong action is concerned, sometimes you need countermeasure to stop that. But the actor side, as a human being, they also deserve our love and compassion as a sort of sentient being, or particularly as a human being. Here, we can make a distinction, actor, action. For example, when we make confession, we make distinction, I and my wrong action. So I recognize that kind of action which I took is now wrong. So make a distinction, yourself and wrong action. So similarly to other, make distinction, the person and wrong action. Wrong action is concerned, sometimes it's necessary to take countermeasure in order to stop their wrong measure, wrong action. But it's always possible the person who carries some destructive sort of action today, through certain circumstances, that one day may become a very good person. So that means the wrong action and the person is always different. So long that person's mind dominated by negative emotion, then these wrong action, destructive action usually happen. So once their mind become more open, more reasonable, then these wrong action automatically cease. Therefore, we should not develop negative feeling towards those people who carrying wrong action. No reason. Today, such as we usually call enemy, today's enemy, next year, today's enemy, next year, or next decade, will become best friend. So therefore, there's always differences, actor and action. So therefore, it is useful to make distinction. So practice forgiveness does not mean accept their wrongdoing.
ありがとうございました。質疑応答の時間以上をもちまして終了とさせていただきます。たくさんの質問ありがとうございました。そして多岐にわたる質問に一つ一つ答えてくださいましたダライラマ法王に改めて感謝の気持ちを込めて拍手をお送りください。さて朝の10時からご参加いただきましたこの横浜法話講演もお開きの時間が近づいてまいりました。ここで会場を代表いたしまして、会派を超えてチベットの平和を記念し行動する僧侶在家の会代表でいらっしゃいます林修英様よりお言葉を頂戴したいと思います。林様お願いいたします。
ただいまご紹介をいただきました私は宗派を超えてチベットの平和を記念し行動する会の僧侶の会在家の会の林でございます。会場の皆様に代わりまして法皇様に一言お礼の言葉を申し述べさせていただきます。ダライラマ法皇陛下には大変お忙しい中を来日され、本日は長時間にわたりまして午前中には菩提自身と自我についての貴重なお話、そして午後からは心の平和、そしてたくさんの方々のご質問に答えていただきまして本当にありがとうございました。法皇様は昨年東日本大震災の被災地である石巻、仙台、そして原発の事故がございました福島郡山で講演をしていただきました。そこで本当に私たちに希望と勇気を与えていただきました。心から感謝し御礼申し上げる次第でございます。今回はこの後11月の6日7日とホテルオークラで日本の科学者との対談、その後沖縄に飛びまして平和記念の講演をしていただけるということでございます。私たちは法皇様が来日されるたびに本当に勇気をいただいております。勇気と元気をいただいております。心から感謝するものでございます。私たちの会は常に チベットでチベット人がチベット人らしく平和に暮らせる日を一日も早く実現するように心から記念しております。法皇様にはこの後大変過密なスケジュールで、お忙しいと思います。どうぞご健勝でいつまでもお元気でありますことをお祈り申し上げる次第でございます。またこのような横浜パシフィコの会場設営にあたりましてダライラマ日本代表部事務所落馬代表はじめスタッフの皆様、本当にお疲れ様でございました。心から感謝申し上げます。本日は誠にありがとうございました。
林様ありがとうございました。どうぞ今一度大きな拍手をお送りください。それではこれをもちましてダライラマ法王横浜法話講演のプログラムを終了させていただきます。今一度拍手で法皇様をお送りください。ありがとうございました。ありがとうございます。昨日来日されたばかりでお疲れにもかかわらず今日一日たっぷりとお心を砕いてくださいました。ありがとうございました。